I'm Caryl Janis, and I'll be reading from my new mystery, Research Can Be Murder. It's published by the Wild Rose Press. Just to set the stage, the main character, Emma, is eager to learn more about some intriguing boxes of family memorabilia. This will lead her to an old, forgotten archive to do some background research. It sounds pretty harmless, but maybe it's not. Here's how her story begins. What are you doing with those boxes, Emma? And why on earth did your brother dump them on you? I rolled my eyes. He thinks I have nothing better to do, even if he didn't say it in so many words. But my brother Ralph came painfully close to the truth. I was bored. Until the boxes and trunk arrived. The contents of those boxes now dominated the conversation as my best friend Della and I caught up over some ridiculously pricey caffeine at Reese's Cafe. Della looked up from my cell phone photos of discoveries from box number 1, her close attention on a pair of century-old women's button-up shoes. Any more funky shoes? I love these. Not yet, but there's a lot of odd stuff in that first box. Like a dozen glittery stick masks and a weird-looking cane. Della paused for one last look. Ralph doesn't know what he got rid of. And he doesn't care. He and Sheila want to enjoy their new retirement condo free of stuff, as Ralph calls it. He felt bad about my being out of a job just when the kids both moved away and Steve got swamped at work. But he said I'll have more time to spend with the stuff. At least he didn't say I'm too old to look for another job after the company closed. Good old Ralph. Della smiled. Later that afternoon, I tripped while rushing back to the box and trunk collection. Box number 2 capsized, and out flew a framed embroidery, some loose papers, and a cowbell that clanged as it rolled into a corner. I sat up. The place was a mess. Curiosity got the better of me, and I grabbed a couple of those loose papers and moved to the light to read the faded handwriting. They must have come from some sort of diary. The third page really grabbed my attention. It read, Abigail came to me that night. She was crying and said she had done a terrible thing. I'm so sorry. Please, you've got to help me. It was all wrong. I needed to do it for my sister. I did not want to steal this, not if I had to do something so bad to get it. Who was Abigail? What had she done that was so wretched? Who was the diarist? An ancestor of mine? Well, soon Emma feels compelled to find answers to these and other questions, all leading her to do research at that small, forgotten archive. But things begin to get dangerous. Listen to what Emma has to say in her own words a few weeks later. Boredom takes many forms, but standing in the archive's museum room and facing a loaded gun is not one of them. This all began in an effort to combat boredom, and when the boxes and trunk arrived, a new and exciting world opened up. Most of it was good, but I just couldn't let the other part go. Finally, I got in over my head. Now, trapped between dusty display cases crammed with antique silver and decaying letters from bygone luminaries, a little boredom would be welcome. This is no random threat. The owner of the gun is not a stranger. You just never know with people. Many thanks to Princeton Public Library for inviting me to be part of the 2024 Author Day.